Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the Watch City Steampunk Festival volunteer orientation. Now, so we're going to get started now. And like I said, this is being recorded, but nothing that you do online is being recorded. The chat's not being recorded. The video's not being recorded. Your sound won't be recorded. Thank you for everyone being muted. I will take questions at the end. Let's get started, shall we? Basic agenda. I'm going to introduce what the festival is, where it came from, the logistics, and go into the description of what's expected and what you are to expect, and review how to do a radio. Pretty basic, pretty simple. Now, some of you have seen this before, but actually most of our volunteers, the majority of our volunteers, are new. So I'm going to review things that most people already know. And a quick history of our festival, which you'll notice that there's an underline on that quick festival history, because when you get this as a PDF, I'm hoping the link will work and it will go to the Ask a Steampunk version of video of that, and that you can see that. But this is quickly where we came from. In 2010, the Charles River Museum of Industry and Innovation held a fundraiser expecting to get 100 people, and 1,000 people came, and it grew and grew and grew until the festival was like, this costs too much. And in 2014 there was no festival. The community was shocked and was hoping, it'd be here, where's all the people. So it became community-based with the Downtown Waltham Partnership running this festival, as well as the other Riverfest that happens in June. And we're very glad to be a part of the Downtown Waltham Partnership. There are 13 people on the steering committee. The people I've listed here and I'm about to show you are the main leaders. These are the people you may need to know. That's why I pictured them here for you. At the top is our fearless leader, Melissa, who was kind enough to call me and tell me I was muted. I'm so sorry. She will be running around putting out fires most of the day. But if you see her, just tell her good job, because without her, we couldn't do this. And without all of you, we couldn't do this. Let me just thank you right now for being a part of making what makes this festival so great. To either side of her are Shay and Hannah. Now, Shay handles the performers, and she will be at Festival Central a good portion of the day, as the performers will be checking in throughout the day. So if a performer comes up asking who they need to see, Shay is the person you need to direct them to. Hannah is in charge of kids' activities, and she has a crew of people that will be handling kids' activities. If you're working with Hannah, our kids, you'll be needing to check in with her after you check in with Central. And we'll be going over where Central is in a moment. And just below Hannah are Lisa and Joe, who handle the vendors. Lisa will probably be meeting any load-in, vendor load-in people at the corner of Elm and Carter, which I'll go over on a map in a moment. And Carrie and I, on opposite, we are actually co-organizers of the volunteers. And we'll be taking turns checking people in at Central. I'll be doing the morning, Carrie will be doing the afternoon. At the bottom is pictured Isaiah. He is our lead performer we have a stock troupe of 3 amazing performers. He plays Dr. Edward von Arkham. His chief nemesis is the mayor, and his benefactor is, of course, the queen. We'll go a little into the plot line in a moment. So, what is steampunk? Again, this is another link you'll be able to see to Ask a Steampunk. And here is the quick answer, which you can read later. It's Victorian futurism. This is a good thing to memorize. So when people who happen upon the festival and don't know about it, you can, if you have this in your memory, refer to this. So we're just quickly moving along, because I don't want to take too much of your time this evening. I'm hoping just to keep it to 20, 25 minutes. What to expect. So, I would say anywhere between 5,000 to 7,000 people, though the Traffic Commission has said that we've gotten up to 10,000 people. Luckily, that's not all at once, so don't get too hung up on that size. The types of vendors we'll have. We have nearly everything. So we've got makers, curiosities, clothing, masks, games, hats, jewelry, and fudge. What, and food. The types of performances, we got musical, of course, we have exhibitors, we have lecturers, we have an aerialist, we have sword fighting. There's a lot of good good entertainment to be had. And yes, we might get more people attending. I see someone mentioned talking about the crowd size because of the weather, which I'll get to in a moment. The first, I want to get to the questions people might have for you. What is steampunk, as we said? Where is such and such vendor? Or where is such and such happening? These are kind of questions that you might want to study our program and our schedule, or at least know how to get to it, to tell people to answer their questions. Where are the restrooms? Where do you park? What time is the parade? I'll get to that in a moment. Where's the Alewife shuttle? Again, I'll get to that in a moment. So these are just general questions you'll get. So let's move on to the boring part, the logistics. I know some of you, it's maybe been a few years since you've been or have volunteered, and we've shrunk things down since the pandemic. So we used to have a larger footprint south of the river, north of Maine, but we're basically just on the Waltham Common, what I used to call the green zone. That's why I left it up there for previous, volunteers who might know that reference. We do have a few things going on at the Waltham Public Library, and there's some special things happen at Charles River Museum of Industry and Innovation. Parking is a good thing to know about, and where festival, the information and merchandise tables are, there will be two. Central and North, and I'll show you that in a moment. But first, again, this is the basic map of the zones. There's only the green zone, and it's got 4 quadrants. Pretty simple. Now, this is a cheat sheet map. It is not a detailed map. There will be a detailed map on the program. This is a cheat sheet for you to utilize to show people quickly where the porta potties are, where the second stage, which is called Moody Street Stages. It's been moved this year. Please note it's on the corner of Moody and Carter. The main stage is the gazebo, as always. You'll notice in the middle there's a little eye, and it's right above the memorial circle, and that is what's known as Festival Central. That's where most things will be happening dealing with the festival, but we do have the other location. You'll see it in the northwest quadrant. The other small eye, that's Festival North. You'll notice also there's where City Hall is, that big gray block behind there is a parking lot. And near there on Elm Street, not in the parking lot, but on Elm Street, near that location is where the Alewife shuttle will be picking up. Courtesy of the 128 Business Council, people can take the red line to Alewife and then take a shuttle to and from the festival. So let's go to our next map. Again, this is a very, very simple map with where the parking is. It's not exact. This is good also if you're doing the traffic guides. We have 2 people in the morning because that's when it's the most confusing, when we close off Carter Street, and that's when the bus drivers get the most confused. We do tell the MBTA, we tell the city grants us permission to close Carter Street, and they tell the MBTA that it's closed. The MBTA does not tell its drivers. So what they're supposed to tell their drivers is if they're coming southbound on Elm Street, the street that's parallel to Moody Street on the Common, they're to continue down Elm Street and go to Pine and come back up Moody instead of going Carter. So if you're a traffic guide, that's what you need to know. You'll notice on this map this year I've put back the First Parish Church. And the reason I put it back on there, that's where the bloodmobile will be. So if there are people interested in giving blood to someone that's not a vampire, but will use it for good, please send them to the church. And of course, the library's on this map. All right, moving right along, shall we? Okay. So we got two types of shifts. We got the mobile and we got the stationary. First, we'll go into mobile. The first shift is early morning, break of dawn. Those who are helping with vendor loading. Like I said, you will be meeting at the corner of Elm and Carter. So that's at the southeast quadrant. And you'll be meeting up with Lisa, and you'll be helping vendors watch their stuff, carry their stuff, and basically help with the flow of getting the vendors in so they can load in. The next mobile shift is actually kind of a stationary shift, the traffic guides, which I've kind of already gone into. And then the other mobile shift workers are there to roam the quadrants. Okay, you're assigned to a particular quadrant, and you will be checking in at Central, Festival Central, and everyone will be checking in at Festival Central, and you'll be getting a vest that says event staff. Everyone has to wear a yellow vest. Yes, you can dress up steampunk, but it's more important that you be comfortable for the day, and everybody, even if you're in a steampunk outfit, will be wearing this vest. For those walking around, you'll pick up, this is a bag of holding. It has a little logo on it in the corner, and in it has a few items. It has in there your cheat sheet. Okay, so it has the cheat sheet map that I just showed you. On the inside, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to show this. Nope, it went right away. There's a QR code for the schedule. If anyone wants to look at the schedule electronically, there's the lost and found policy, there's the parking map, and on the back is the weapons policy, which we'll go into that a little later. And the lost and found policy we'll go into later. Also, you will grab from Central or extras from North the program. Now, this is now online. I did not know that when I was making the slides. So when I put these slides out, I'll make sure to put that link, like the other links, into the slides. So this is what, yes, last year's looked like, and within it, it has a physical schedule as well as a physical location. It has a bunch of things in here. So you can look at that online beforehand and get familiarized with it. And this is what you'll be handing out to the general public. Also in your bag will be a little Ziploc baggie of yellow ribbons. Now, what the yellow ribbons are, they are for those who have a weapon. They are, so people know our weapons policy. So you're not checking the weapon. You're checking the weapon to see if it has a ribbon. This one does not. So you simply say to whoever has, do you know about our weapons policy? Would you read this? And here's a ribbon. Please put it on your weapon so no one else bothers you for the rest of the day. You do not need to check performers. They don't count. If they're on a stage in their performance space, please don't go trying to hand them ribbons, please. So what else is in your bag is there will be little baggies and gloves. If you feel a need you see trash that's just nowhere near a trash can, you feel a need to pick up some trash and put it in a bag. Please do not put these back in the bags of holding. The bags of holding get put into a box and not seen again for another year, and it's kind of amusing to see them a year later when I open them up in my dining room, but also not that amusing. Please throw the trash away. I appreciate it. Also, it would be a beautiful day. So I'm putting a pack of tissues in for all of you who are allergic to pollen. So yes, the weather is supposed to be nice. So the weather is supposed to be nice, and that's great. Unfortunately, there's the pollen. There's also the chance of heat exhaustion. There is a first aid tent that will be right near Festival Central. If you need to escort somebody, that's where you escort them. All right, let's move on. Stationery. So this is where you're sitting at the tables, and your job is to sell merchandise, answer questions. All merchandise sales, even what the volunteers are getting, needs to be entered into the square. Volunteer check-in is handled at Central. Performer check-in is handled at Central. Our lost and found policy, you bring them to Central. If it's a lost child, if it's a lost kid, if it's a lost robot, if it's a lost traveler, doesn't matter. Bring them to Central and someone will go to the stage and make the proper announcements. There is water to be given to the performers, or the performers should have a badge if you are giving them. I forgot to mention, there will be radios with at least one person for each quadrant who's walking around, and there'll be radios at Central provided by our first aid providers. Operation Hammond is their name. There will be flyers there will be merchandise, and here is the merchandise numbers. And it'd be good just to look at these. There'll be a cheat sheet on the table. We got magnets, pin back buttons, stickers are $2 each, or people can combine them for $3 to $5. There'll be embroidery wing logos, bat patches, and enamel embroidery wing logo pins. Those are each $10 each. The t-shirts go for $20, and the messenger bags are going for $35 this year. Okay, I do see a question I do want to get to real quickly. What counts as a weapon? It's obviously if it looks like a firearm, if it looks like a sword, if it looks like it blows bubbles, but it's in the shape of a firearm. I don't think you need really to do knives. Use your best judgment, is all I've got to say. Okay, moving on. Please show up early for your work. Basic guidelines. Be ready to work. Know where to park. Know how to get there. Realize there might be traffic. And it'll just make things, they go really smooth. Again, report to Festival Central. You get your staff vest. You get checked off. There is a checklist, so we know that you've come, and get your bag of holding. And yeah, keep checking that weather. It's up to you to get your sunscreen, your tissues, your medicines. We won't have that. We will have tissues, but you've got to know what's best for you. And we rely on you to know that. And we hope that you interact with the attendees, and you see them wearing some great costumes. Tell them that you really enjoy their costume, and also let them know that there is a parade happening. I forgot to go over the parade, didn't I? Okay. The parade is happening at 3:45, but they're gathering at 3:30. There will be announcements from the stage. There will also be a I always get this wrong. Step stake sign in the grass that will say gather here, and a committee member saying gather here for the parade, which will be led by Edward von Arkham. For anyone who has a wonderful costume, you parade around the common so everyone can see your wonderful, wonderful costume. So that launches at 3:45, and that's happening. Speaking of Edward von Arkham, everyone should know what the plot is this year. So Queen Mercy has had her crown stolen. Oh no! And she has hired Sherlock Holmes. And so we have additional actors playing Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and they will be on stage trying to figure out this mystery. There's an additional kids activity. It's actually an everybody activity where they will be able to go to different, it's kind of a word scavenger hunt or letter scavenger hunt to find out what a certain word the letters make. And when they find that out, they go to Kids Central. Anyone who's playing this game goes to Kids Central, Kids Activities, sorry, and they get a sticker for that activity. So let's see. Let's move along. A few additional guidelines. If you cannot make it, please text me. Like I said, I'll be emailing out these slides, and in that email, I'll put really big my cell phone number. And I may not answer because I may be doing something, but it's okay to text me and let me know that you're not coming. It happens. I've already had 2 people drop off this week because of different reasons. Life happens, and I just want to know that you're okay. I'm a mom. I worry about you all. You're my volunteers. So please let me know if you can't make it. It's totally okay. But it's just good to know. We went over the lost child policy. Get them to Central if they're lost or the parent is lost. Harassment will not be tolerated. Please don't stay quiet. Please report any incidents to Central. Please know that we do have police that are going to be on the common that we can get. And again, anyone seeking help or assistance, get them to Central. Okay. Compensation. Here are some snapshots of our beautiful t-shirts this year. Please pick up your t-shirt after your shift. And be sure that somebody, either me or Carrie, marks it down on the sheet that we checked you off and what you got. We also want these entered in the square. But we just want to keep track of the inventory. And for those who are eligible for food compensation, you'll receive an envelope at the start of your shift. Because some people are doing 2 non-consecutive, and so we want to make sure that they get fed in the middle of the day if need be. Moving on. Okay. Basic festival etiquette. Treat people with respect and kindness. Be boisterous. Be fun-loving. This one, the third one, doesn't really anything happen that often, but it's basic. You should be asking permission before taking their picture. No smoking inside the tents, and I'm really hoping people will dispose of their trash, but they may not. Here's the weapons policy that you'll be showing other people, and it's basic. And again, you are not to be peace binding for them. You are to hand them a ribbon to notify that they've been noticed. Peace binding is an actual term used in conventions. This is a liability thing that's just for us to be careful on. Okay, what is not here? For some of you who, again, haven't been back in a few years, we do not have entertainment south of Moody in the restaurants or are busking on corners. Nothing south of the river. Mrs. Hawkins has a series. Phoebe Roberts has written, directed, and produced a series of plays with this character, Mrs. Hawking, and in the past has done in-person theatrical productions. That is not here this year. In previous years, vendors used to get food delivery. They are not getting that this year. So, now we're up to the radio explanation. Real simple. This will not be the radio you're getting, but most radios are the same. The radios are being provided by Operation Hammond, but they do have a volume that just turns louder if you need it. And what's most important, I think, when you're using a radio is to hold the button down, say, "This is Ilana calling Festival Central," and then I repeat that because there is a lag. Sometimes the radio doesn't pick you up. This is not a phone. This is a radio. They act differently than phones. "This is Ilana calling Festival Central. I need first aid at the corner of Carter and Moody." Really basic. And that's that. All right. That's it. We have come to the basic end of our Q&A. I do want to note that we do have some additional volunteer needs. If you're available this Friday morning at 10 a.m., we will be marking the common, which means we mark out the spots the vendors will be. And we'll be loading up the van from the Charles River Museum with all of the things that we'll need for the next day. We also need people on Monday morning at 10 a.m. So if you just want to email me right there at that email address, that would be great. And I'm going to check the chat and see what questions are here that I need to answer. Yes, just the teal and gray as options. Oh, you guys are typing too fast. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, just email me if you're available, because this chat is going to disappear. You do have one question. I have something for you to sign. Yes. I or Carrie, whoever checks you in, can sign whatever documents you need signed for your volunteer work. The square training. Okay, yeah, when you get to um, to Festival Central. The square is not too complicated. Let's see if I can bring it up here. It's on an iPad, and there's already a favorites that has been set up. There's a library, and you just go in and you type in what you need. And basically, once you do it a few times with one of our help, you'll be able to be fine in it. And there will be these iPads do have a headphone jack, so we will be using the slider to take cards. They are cellular, so they'll be using cellular data. And we also have bricks, battery bricks for extra power in case the batteries run out. So we have a plan. Okay. What time do we need people to show up to help Saturday morning? Saturday you should have a shift. Corey, okay. Thank you for asking about the Corys. I will email out those who need the iCory forms to those, and then I will schedule a time to check your ID with that. Thank you for reminding me on that. Candace, all right. You need to know what your hours are. I will, if you can email me, Ilana at Watch City Festival, I will get those hours for you. Times on Friday. We want to start at 10 a.m. We should be done about noon or 12:30 because we all have other things to do. So it's just a quick 2.5 hours. Takes about an hour and a half to mark up the common, and then an hour to load up the van. It's real straightforward. Okay. Shooting Star Productions, what is your question? Your shift is from 10 a.m. Yeah, you by getting there early, like I'm saying 9:50. You don't have to be there at 9:30. If your shift's at 10:30 or 10 a.m., just a few minutes before is fine. Yeah. Yeah, all volunteers show up to Central first. Come to Central because that's where these lovely vests will be. That's where the bags will be. Everything will be there. Okay. And as Melissa said, we do need a little more help on Monday morning if you are available. I know most people have jobs. I'm a bum. I'll be there. I don't have a job. Yes, Jennifer is correct. Leave time for parking. Unless you're coming early morning. Parking will be tight. We have thousands of people coming using the same parking. So we are very well arrived at by public transportation. We've got the commuter rail, you got the bus lines. We have the LY shuttle. But yeah, no, if you're not familiar with Waltham, take a drive around Waltham, downtown Waltham before you come. That might be a good idea. Melissa, how early on Monday? Melissa, are we saying 10 a.m. on Monday too? That just seems like a good time. Thank you, Miss Noble. I'm going to see if there's any other questions I missed. Roger Dodger. I'm missing some good conversations here. Melissa says there is one thing south of the river, and that's the Waltham Land Trusting Walking Tour. Is it south of the river, or is it actually on the river? Yeah, it's not south of the river. It's on the river. Okay. The t-shirts, just so you know, they run a bit long. We did order more bigger sizes this year. We ordered more 2XL and an extra large and more large. And They do come in the 2 colors. They're also, for those who are working at the tables, they are wrapped with a wristband they're easily marked with their size number on them, but feel free to undo those wristbands if someone wants to see the size. Don't worry about the fact that it has a wristband on it. If people want to see a size, let them see the size. Let's see. What else have we got here? Note, drink 350. Oh, yes. Thank you, Bill. It is going to be warmer, so please drink more water. There will be water at Festival Central, but if we run out, we run out. And I don't know, if whoever's selling water that day will probably be making a killing. Let's see. These are unisex sizes. They are just a box t-shirt. They have no women's cuts. They're simple. And for me, so I tried on, the large was too snug for me, and the extra large had too much room. So I'm not even taking a t-shirt this year. Just because the way that the t-shirt is just that men's boxy size. It's not for everybody. They're great. I love the teal. I think it's a fabulous color. It's Galapagos green is the color. Let's see. The wristbands are color coordinated? No, Hannah. They just have a big S on them, or an M on them, or an XL on them. Trust me, it will be obvious what size they are. I promise. They're not color coordinated. The bins are color coordinated. I put labels on the bins. Central has red stickers and North has blue and yellow stickers. But the t-shirts themselves are just, it'll be obvious, don't worry. If you can't find parking on the Common, Charles Felton streets that go between the 2 parking walks are not too bad. Yeah. So if you want me to go back to the parking map, it won't let me. Why won't you let me? Oh, you've let me down. You can look on what parking she's referring to on the maps on the slides, and you'll see that there is one north of Main Street. It's called the Common Street parking lot, or the Carmen Park, because it's off of Common Street. Oh, and you're talking about actual Felton Street, which is perpendicular to the Common. You're right. The Charles Street and Felton Street are very busy streets, but they do have some parking. Let's see. Oh, some good advice in here about how to cut a V into your shirt. Yes, that's always good. And okay. Yes. So Bill would like everyone to know, if someone has stopped sweating suddenly, or is sweating but feels clammy, or has muscle cramps or sudden fatigue, get them to the medic fast. Thank you, Bill. All right. If there are no more questions that you want answered now, if you have questions later on, feel free, email me at theilana@watchcityfestival.com. I will be sending these out. And I thank you so much for being part of this small army of people it takes to make this festival, I think, the most enjoyable. It's not just steampunk, but we put a lot of effort into caring about what happens to our vendors, what happens to our Common, and how our attendees have a good time. It's not just about putting on a show. It's about everybody who is involved, including you, the volunteers, to have a good time. So excited, yay! Thank you. Thank you, and good night, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.